Awesome. I'm inside one of my dummy accounts right now, and I'm going to walk you through setting up your very first automation, or if you've been using ManyChat before, the way I would set up your next automation. It's very simple, and we're going to walk through it step by step. Step one, as long as you have your Instagram or Facebook page connected, you can dive in and get started. If you haven't yet written your copy, I suggest you go back a lesson, watch that lesson, write out your copy so you're ready to simply copy and paste it into the program and really save yourself some time. So on your dashboard, you're going to select automation. And we're going to set up your first automation. I already have a previous dummy one here. You're going to hit new automation here at the top. And it's going to give you some options to use a recommended template. Do. You can start from scratch if you want, if you absolutely have an idea of where you want to go or what you want to do next and you want to just build it from scratch. Do that. But if you're looking to do a specific thing, ManyChat has a ton of excellent templates that are ready to get you started. And I'm going to walk through more of the technical aspects of how to set it up. So in this one, we are going to do convert your Instagram comments to sales. Technically, what I'm going to be doing is actually utilizing comments to get someone to sign up for a free workshop, but it could be direct to a digital product. That's not going to change. Ultimately, the thing you need to be paying attention to is this is about comments. So comments moving to a specific link, we can change everything from there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit setup template. And once I am here, if you need to get a refresh, you can definitely watch the tutorial that's there, but it's already set up the basics for you. It has put in both an Instagram account and the response. But here's a couple of additional things we're going to want to set up. So you're going to open this first account and you're going to make a couple of choices. So the first one of which, do you want it to be on all of your posts or reels, or for a specific post? I believe to make it available for all your posts or reels, you will need to upgrade your account to Pro. But if you're just doing it for one specific post, you can set this up every time. That just tends to be pretty cumbersome. So I think it's worth the upgrade, but that's ultimately up to you. If you just want to test it and get it out there, then you can do a specific post. You would need to do this after the post is live though, so keep that in mind. Now I'm going to go ahead and select all posts or reels and hit continue. Now on this particular thing, I need to be picking a specific keyword. Now for this workshop, my keyword is actually going to be the word shift, and I could go in and add others if I wanted to have other things go to it. Like maybe I switch out the word workshop and it changes depending what I'm promoting. I could add this and then later delete it if I wanted to. But for now, I'm just going to have the one keyword. Now I am going to hit continue, and I want it to send a reply when you respond. I don't like sending defaults and I want it to sound like me. So I've already pre-written these. If you haven't written yours yet, you're going to want to do that now and get those triggers in. I'm just copying and pasting this over from another document, which is why I told you to write it in advance. But it's really easy. It has 3. I suggest 5 to 7 just to create more variables. But you can even use AI to give you some ideas of what to say. So I'm going to hit save for now, just to move on to the next step. And this is set up. Now, before I move on, I want to keep in mind that this is only going to work if someone responds to a post or reel. I like to go ahead and set up other triggers at the same time. So what I would do then is have someone comment, like replying to a story. I want it to also work. So the first thing I want it to do is heart with a response. I love setting that up so it like acknowledges that person. And you can have it with a delay if you want, to make it feel like a little more human. So you could set it to 30 seconds later. I go ahead and have it send automatically. But it's going to reply if it has specific keywords. So we need to make sure we're changing it to specific keywords, and we put our keyword in here and hit save. So this one isn't going to have an automatic response because the automatic response is the DM because they're already in messages. Now, if you want them to also be able to just like send you a random DM from somewhere else, like say your thing is a little more sensitive. I have had some clients that are, talking about subjects that they may not want other people to know that they are participating. Maybe they have an abusive partner and are seeking help, or they're going through something with infertility and it's like a private medical thing. But they wanted whatever the thing is. They could instead send you a DM, and you could even change your prompt in whatever post. Say, hey, send me a DM with this keyword and I'll send you whatever. So we're going to set up that trigger as well. So user sends a message is specifically the one we're going to look at. And we are going to detect specific words. I haven't yet tested the recognize intention. I think that could potentially help with some of the, things accidentally being sent. Like say you're in the middle of a conversation. My hope is that it would understand that you're in the middle of the conversation and not send it. But since I haven't tested it yet, I am going to tell you to select specific ones. And then I'm going to say message contains specifically. You could change this. Begins with, is, contains, whatever. But most of the time sometimes they'll say just the word, but a lot of times they'll also say other things like, yeah, send it over to me, shift, or whatever. So I'm going to hit create. And now I have all my triggers set up. So I have, if any of these things happen, if someone comments on a post, if someone comments on a reel, if someone replies to my story, or they send a message, they all have the same keyword. Now I want to set up the reply. So it's already been connected. If for some reason this arrow is missing, like say this arrow's gone, then it's not going to send. So if you're noticing that it's not sending and this arrow's gone, that's why. You need to specifically click the little arrow there and click here to connect it. So this is how you go from one stage to the next. When this happens, then do this. Okay, so we're going to adjust the then, which is ultimately just a message. Again, I already have pre-written my response, so I'm going to copy that in, and then I'm going to adjust the button. And the button, I am going to have it say, save my spot, and use my URL. Now make sure you put a full URL. I always include HTTPS. Typically, the way I make this foolproof is I go to whatever my quick link is, like creativetempleshop.com/shift, and then whatever like it loads as the like final destination, I use the final destination. So that's it for the button. All you have to do is hit done. You can technically add emojis and things. If you wanted to try that strategy where you add a second button, all you have to do is hit add button, and then you tell it what it does. And I always am using the open website. You can get way more technical about some of the things that it could do, would do, will do, but for the sake of this example, open website is the only thing we're covering right now. So I am going to remove this. So if you ever accidentally add it and you're like, how do I get rid of it? Click on it and you're going to hit remove. Okay, so now this is all set up. I have my copy done. I have my triggers done. Awesome. So we're not quite done. We're so close. We need to hit set live. and that is going to turn the automation live. So again, if you're not receiving it, please double check that it's live. Now, I am going to do one last thing, and that is specifically name this automation. I didn't do that at the beginning, and so I want to make sure I know what this is later. And I like to use consistent naming conventions. So what I do is I put something like, this is a lead magnet because I'm collecting leads on the other side. Someone's going directly to a form. So LM, if it was a digital product, I put DP. And then I put what it is, market shift workshop. And then I like to put the phrase trigger and then what my trigger word was. And the reason I do this is sometimes I will have occasionally something fail to send and I'll be like, why is it failing to send? And it's because I previously set up another automation with the same trigger word. And if you have two with the same trigger word, it either won't send at all or it will send the one you made first. And that's how you can help find it quickly. So I think that's really important. Make sure you click out of it for it to save. And then it's done. When you go back to access it, all you have to do is say you're on the home screen. You can go to automation. It's going to be listed most recent because you most recently edited. You can hover over it to see that it's on. So there's 3 different triggers. You could technically turn off just one of them, but we have all 3 on. This is on. I could click into it and see that it's live. I can check my stats. I can also see where the button is going. So I can always double check those things. In terms of testing, before I post something, I always do comment or send that DM from another account just to make sure that it's working. It's just like a old personal account that my spouse and I shared for a previous thing we were working on together. So I just flip-flop to the other account, then navigate to my personal page where this automation is connected to, comment on any post because that's the way I have it set up. And then as long as it sends me the correct DM and the link and button work, then I feel confident about posting about this on a consistent basis. Very rarely is something going to fail, but if you have questions about troubleshooting, be sure to check out the next lesson.